Johnny Sides 100% stainless steel HydroSpreader. Let me talk to you about this truck. This is the kind of truck you need. This is a truck with a 10,000 pound front axle and a 23,000 pound rear axle, and it's a locking rear axle. In other words, you push a button in their cab and that axle locks together, so you're spinning with the tires on both sides, which is very important if you're going to be out hydroseeding. You want that extra traction. It has a Cummins L9 engine and an Allison automatic transmission. This truck, set up the way it is about $120,000. But this is what you need, okay? This hydroseeder right here that we built out of 100% stainless holds 1,900 gallons. Most people build them about 1,700 gallons, but a 23,000 pound axle will carry that extra 200 gallons no problem. It's rated for 26,000 pounds, so you don't have to have a Class A CDL driver to drive this rig right here. That right there in a year's time will probably make you an extra $30,000 or $40,000, just the fact that you can put anybody in there that can drive and they can drive this. The only time this truck gets over 26,000 pounds is if you fill it up with water. And if you fill it up with water, you're on the job site anyway. But going down the road, going through the scales, you're going to weigh 22,000 pounds. This truck and this hydroseeder and some hydro mulch is going to weigh about 22,000 pounds. So you're perfectly legal to go right down the road with a Class C driver. When we do a hydroseeder, we take all the electricity from right here and we put it back here. We don't let we could make electricity with that engine back there, but we don't need to. We just make all the electricity right here and put it back here. We also don't put a fuel tank on it. I can put a fuel tank on it, and I can let that alternator on that engine make electricity, but why do it? You got an alternator on your truck, so we take the electricity from the alternator on the truck and run everything electrical that needs to be run back there, okay? And then we take the fuel out of this tank, and that's what fuels the engine. Okay, so there's no use I can put a fuel tank on it, but why do it if you can get the fuel out of this tank? That way you only got 2 tanks to fill up and you're ready to roll, okay? This rail right here is full of compressed air. We take the compressed air for this truck and we put it in this stainless steel 4-inch rail, and that's compressed air. Why do we put compressed air in that rail right there? Here's why. When you get ready to clean your hose back here, say you've been shooting with your hose back here, when you get ready to shoot it, all you got to do to clean this hose out is you would close this valve, because this valve goes to the big gun, and you would open this valve you'd actually close that one back up, and you would open this little valve right here. When you open that little valve right there, it's gonna take compressed air and it's gonna blow it in. It's gonna blow it in right here, and that compressed air is gonna rush down this 2-inch hose into this 1.25-inch hose, and all that hydro mulch that you've been shooting that you don't want to get hard inside there, it's gonna blow it right out into the grass. So now you've cleaned your hose up with compressed air instead of water, because guess what? Air don't freeze in the wintertime, water does. So you're taking compressed air out of here, opening this valve, and blowing this hose out and blowing that hose out to clean your hydroseeder up. Okay, in the wintertime, all you got to do to winterize this, the only water after you open this valve right here and drain all the water out of it, this valve right here lets all the water drain out of your hydroseeder, okay? After you do that, the only water that's going to be left in this whole machine, because everything is on a slant. That's not by accident. There's no place on my hydroseeder for water to get trapped. every bit of that water's going to run right back into here, run right back in the tank, and run right out that right there. There's going to be just a little bit. There's just going to be a little bit of water from here down. And you see that little petcock right there? You open that little petcock right there, and that's the last quart, half a gallon of water will run right out right there, that little petcock right there. Now you don't have any water anywhere in your machine. And this pump right here is a tornado pump. I call it a tornado pump, a hurricane pump, because the material stays right here. The impeller's right here. So if you get a big old rock or lump of something in there and it comes out this pipe into this pump, it never hits the impeller. The impeller is just creating a vortex in there, and it's just, that vortex is just blowing your material right out and right out your gun right there. So if you do get lumpy material in there or something, it ain't going to clog it up, and it's not going to mess up your impeller blades, because this vortex pump, the impeller's here, the material's over here, so it's not going to clog up on you. It's going to come right up this line right here and go out. If you cut that valve and open this one, it's going to go right out the hose reel. Okay, and listen, you don't have any grease fittings on this HydroSpreader. You got one little grease fitting right here that has to be greased occasionally for that bearing, and one little grease fitting on the other side that puts a little on that bearing. But this whole case right here is full of grease, so you ain't out here greasing something all the time. Okay, 2 little grease fittings. There's no grease fitting up here on this agitator. That's a hydraulic motor right there that turns the agitator. There's no grease fitting on that. There's grease inside that bearing right there, but it's sealed up. That'll last you about 7 or 8 years, and you just replace it. You don't have to grease it. And it doesn't leak. You don't have any leaks, no place to leak like other HydroSpreaders do, how they leak like a sieve. This don't leak, okay, because it's all sealed up. It can't leak, and you don't have to grease it. It's easy maintenance, and you're not always worrying about it rusting, because everything is stainless steel. Everything. That rail is stainless steel. That's a stainless steel plate right there that keeps anything from going down onto your frame right there. And we paint these frames after we get them from the manufacturer. We paint that with black coal tar paint, which resists rust unreal. So this got factory paint on it and black coal tar paint on it to keep this frame from ever rusting. And that stainless steel plate keeps anything from getting in there on that plate. It just runs off onto the ground. Okay, so you don't have to worry about a lot of rust. You can control this HydroSpreader from down here. If you want to, you can run everything from right down here, or you can run it from up there. You can start it and stop it down here. You can start your hose reel. If you want to start your pump going, you just pull up on that lever right there, and engage your clutch, which engages your pump, and you can stay right down here and shoot with your hose reel. And the nozzle that fits the gun upstairs is the same nozzle that fits down here, so you don't have to have 2 sets of nozzles. So if you're shooting down here, you just lay you some nozzles right in here, and you do, everything's 2.5 inch. Everything's 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch down here, 2.5 inch up there. And so you don't have to have but 1 set of nozzles to operate this thing. And when you want to run your hose reel back in, this little hydraulic motor will run your hydraulic hose out, and it'll pull it back in. And this is all stainless steel. It ain't going to rust. This fitting right here wasn't stainless steel, so we wrap it with a oil impregnated tape that keeps it from ever rusting. That's all wrapped with oil impregnated tape to keep that from rusting, because you couldn't get that in stainless steel. Anything that could possibly be stainless steel is stainless steel, aluminum, copper, plastic, something that won't rust. Now, your engine block ain't gonna never rust because it's cast. This will never rust because this is cast. You ain't got to worry about that. It doesn't have to be stainless steel. And the fertilizer's not getting on this part down here anyway, okay? And this engine is 74 horsepower. It's a Cummins 4B. Why did we pick that engine? Because if you stay under 74 horsepower, you don't have to have as much tree hugger stuff, which is just something to break and go wrong. This motor is run by Murphy switches, okay? Because it's under the horsepower, and you don't need all the horsepower. People put way too much horsepower to run. All you're running is a pump. You don't need some great big old ungodly gigantic horsepower engine just to add weight to your machine. That's all you need. That's a Cummins 4B, about 74 horsepower. It runs that. It don't even know it's got a load on it when it's running that pump right there. And that's all it does. It runs two little hydraulic motors over there, one to turn this and one to turn this. And that's pretty much it. And then, we made it easy to climb up there. We made it easy to climb up there. When you buy one, we're not going to put side seating right there. We're going to put ABC seating right there, XYZ seating right there. That way you're going down the road, people know who the heck you are, okay? So here's your lever for running the hose in and out, okay? And then this step right here, if you was to run up on something, this step will actually give. If you ran up on something low, it'll push back and won't bend nothing. We got you a good strong hitch on there. We got you a pigtail on there for your lights and chain hooks for your chains, safety chains. And we put these bumpers back here because, hey, you know guys are going to ram into stuff that you want them to ram into a piece of rubber, not a piece of metal, okay? That's why we put these rubber bumpers back here. And we use a real simple little gun. Look at that little gun up there. Why would you want a big old gaudy gun when that's what the fire company uses? That gun will shoot 165, 70 foot. That's all you do. You ain't gonna find a slope that's more than 165, 70 foot long. That's all the gun you need right there. You can put a bigger gun on there, but you don't need it. That thing locks in place and stays where you put it. You're not putting your gun on and off. All you're changing is your nozzle. You can change your nozzle out from a gun to a fan or whatever you want, and we put them right in this box right here, plastic box. Why did we make that out of plastic? Because we don't want it to rust. That's an oil bath air filter. That's all the air filter you ever need. You put a little oil in there, the dirty air comes in here, hits that oil, the oil takes it out, goes up through some steel wool and right into your engine. Clean, clean, clean. You not get any dirty air going into your engine right there. So folks, here's your hydraulic tank that runs. These two things run hydraulically. This motor right here runs this hydraulic. That pump right there runs this hydraulic motor, and this little hydraulic pump right here runs your hose reel. Okay, this is your suction line that you throw into a creek or whatnot. You got a Honda pump in here and some fire hose and everything. Pull up to a pond or a lake or a creek or something right there. Throw your Honda pump over beside it. Put the hose on it. Take a fire hose and run right up to here. Again, everything's 2.5. Hook your fire hose right here. Fill your HydroSpreader up, and it ain't gonna splash out because we made that fill thing high enough that it ain't gonna be splashing out all the time. That lid comes up, you lay your material on the lid and you just dump it in, and it falls right onto those blades, which is gonna chew it up and mix everything up. It's being turned by that hydraulic motor back there. You can make it go fast or slow. You can make it go fast when you mix it up. You can slow it down. That engine's on a slide right there. You decouple it right here, it just slides back and decouples. There's a rubber coupler in there that keeps that coupled together. You get up under there and loosen up those 4 bolts, slide that engine back, remove this is removable, and set your engine right here on the ground and do whatever you want to it, and fix it, put it right back. Or do the same thing with the pump. Say you want to work on the pump. It's got 4 bolts in, holds it down. It's on a slide. You get up under there, you loosen the 4 bolts up, you slide that pump right back, you disconnect it right here. There's some bolts that holds it to that. Take them bolts out, loosen up these bolts, slide it back, set it right on the ground, fix your pump, put it right back. It's a mechanic's dream. There's just not much that you can break on this machine. Everybody builds stuff way too complicated, hard to get to, hard to fix. This is simple, simple, simple. Write me a check for $265,000 and it's yours. The truck's under warranty by International. This is under warranty for a year by me. The engine's under warranty for a year by me and Cummins. And if you can't make $265,000 back in a year with us and a couple tractors and a straw blower, then my name ain't Johnny Sides.